Hello and welcome back once again to the Single Malt Review. You'll notice a conspicuous absence of anything on the table today. It's because we're having a mystery whiskey, a surprise whiskey, because it's Dave's birthday.
Oh,
Happy birthday, Dave.
thank you very much, Tim.
And we must say, actually, we show the camera the absolutely intricate wrapping.
Yes.
Just
Whiskey Local does
just the world standard in
very
wrapping.
nice wrapping job.
No, it's very good when you know people with extremely similar interests, because that's a bit like buying a present for yourself. Only everybody wins.
It is 3-pack of Loch Lomond.
One of which we have tasted, but the
Yes.
other two we have not. So
Yeah.
we shall proceed with the ones we haven't.
They're all in the Inchmurrin range, the Madeira wood finish, and the 12-year-old and the 18.
And the 12 we rather enjoyed, although it was a very peculiar whiskey. It was a good one, peculiar in a good way. The 18 in Madeira, a mystery to us.
Yeah.
So we will crack right in.
All bottled at 46% and artificially coloured, apparently.
Oh well,
Which is fine.
so close.
Happens, yeah.
But I think none shall filtered. So
yeah.
we're halfway there, and 46, pretty good strength, you'd have to say. Could do a lot worse.
Yeah. We've had a good run with everything tried from Loch Lomond. Even their single grain.
Yeah, Loch Lomond and Glen Scotia, who are owned by the same company, have really transformed their range. Both previously regarded as, sleepy brands, probably to put it favourably, pointless ones to put it a bit more harshly. And yeah, they really weren't particularly interesting. Glen Scotia especially was always considered like almost a nothing whiskey really, but now, new good labels, new reformulated, reblended ranges, and stunning stuff as far as we've been able to taste.
Now,
So
I see in the fine print there, Island Collection.
I think that's something they put on the bottom of all of their Inchmurrin things,
Oh,
and we've
that's
encountered this before. There's a bit of sort of brand confusion when it comes to whiskies coming out of the Loch Lomond Inchmurrin distillery. They have a whole parallel range of whiskies which are labelled Loch Lomond and not Inchmurrin.
Island Collection, indeed, as always all are.
And based on my scant, it should be said, research, they're extremely similar. They're mostly sold in different countries. Inchmurrin is something mostly for the European and our Australasian market, whereas Loch Lomond tends to go to America, probably because Loch Lomond is a bit more of a recognisable, it's a recognisably Scottish thing, I guess.
Due to the song.
Yes, indeed. So, we will try these, I suppose, in as much sequence as we can, this one being the youngest in that it has no age, and we'll move on to the 18. Subsequently, and the 12, Dave can just enjoy that on his own time, because we have tried that already, and you can simply scroll back a few videos and find that one. So, let's see what they've got for us in the Madeira wood.
Any clues as to the age or length of that finish?
No. So, I would imagine, well, going by how things are usually done, probably around a year, probably not over 2. Once finishes get over 2 years old, they start to use different languages like double maturation, because you can more honestly say it then. If a young-ish, and this will be a young-ish, probably 8 years old, between 6 and 8, whiskey spends that much of its life, 2 years or more, in a finishing cask, that's a double maturation at that point. It has genuinely matured in that cask. It hasn't just finished. So probably we're looking at about a year, I'd say, for this one, off the top of my head.
Don't believe I've ever tried Madeira in its raw form.
Yeah.
It's a dessert wine?
Madeira
or a wine?
it's a dessert wine, it's a sweet wine. Madeira, if my... this particular dreary afternoon at WSET Wine School serves me, Madeira is a wine that is treated with temperature. It was created, and please forgive me if I'm describing something completely different. The story still applies; it just might be a different thingy. Madeira, as far as I know, was sort of created by accident when a sweet wine, and I'm sorry I don't know the grape variety used, was put into barrels and went on long sea voyages where it got extremely hot. And so the wine was, in normal wine terms, wine, whiskey or beer terms, was heat damaged. It had gotten cooked in the barrel and transformed because of it. And that's usually a bad thing. If you've got heat-damaged wine, heat-damaged products all over, they're normally considered spoiled. They're faulted. You know, beer will lose its sort of hops. Wine will change completely, as this one did. But people rather liked it after it had gotten from Spain to France or wherever it was going. They liked its sort of heat-modified component. And so that's how it really became its own thing. And so what this effect has on the casks, I don't know. But Madeira itself is a very, very sticky sweet. It's an extremely sweet wine. It's not like a sweet Semillon or something like a Sauterne. It's a full-on sweet. It's more like a Hungarian Tokay or something like that. Like really sweet. And quite sort of cooked puddingy thing. But again, I'm not really a wine expert, so take all that with a grain of salt.
I'm no connoisseur either, but I do like a sweet, sticky dessert wine.
But in terms of what this will have done to the whiskey, I think the casks involved will have been European oak, traditionally at any rate, and any notes from the leftover liquid will be just very, very sweet, extremely sweet. So we'll see what it's got.
I've had some cracking Sauterne finished whiskies in the past, so I'm expecting something hopefully vaguely similar here due to the influence again of a sweet wine barrel. Ooh, that is...
If anything, it's more woody on the nose than particularly sweet.
It is quite young whiskey possibly, so that's fair, but there's a very creamy lemon curd aroma, some sort of fruity custard.
Yeah.
A little bit passion fruit, a little bit lemon, a little bit of pineapple.
It is conspicuously
sweet.
Youthful. Not in a bad way, not particularly. It's not offensively youthful like we've encountered in the past, but it is pretty young.
It is richly fruity though and sweet.
Yeah, and then there's a layer, there's a real sort of spread thickly, kind of a, almost like a compote maybe, like a...
Hints of creme brulee.
Creme brulee, oh god, what is this? A really specific note. If you're in a country which gets Rose's chocolates, the sort of strawberry compote version, that sort of strawberry fondant or whatever you want to call it, it has a particular, that really candied version of sort of fruitiness. That's somewhat evident in here. And it's just a little bit reminiscent of that note in Springbank. Not reminiscent of Springbank, just reminiscent of the strawberry compote note that you can get in especially older Springbanks.
I see what you mean. I can get that comparison.
Interesting.
And on the tongue? Oh, that is rich and tasty. It feels light on the tongue, but there is a deceptively deep quality to it. There's layer upon layer of flavour. It's not a bombastic culinary explosion across the tongue, but it is a subtle, just a slow delivery.
Yeah, it's kind of, it goes on kind of a ride. It's difficult to keep up with, actually.
Like a stack of pancakes of different sauce in between each one, if that analogy isn't stretching things too far.
You know, that's reminiscent of that sweet strawberry aspect of Springbank on the palate as well. That's really quite cogent how it comes together there. But
this is a perfect sort of liqueur-y, desserty whiskey.
I think it'll...
in keeping with those other... for the Isle of Arran, there is an excellent Arran Sauterne finish, which I had as one of the whiskies for my wedding a few years ago, because it was just so good. It was my favourite at the Whisky Festival that year, and it was just so richly sweet.
No, I remember it well enough anyway. We enjoyed quite a lot.
Yeah, and there are some strong similar characteristics here. The use of a dessert wine cask to finish off the whiskey. It transforms it without just fundamentally destroying its own inherent character.
Yeah. Whereas that was more of Arran is a very Speyside whiskey, and it goes very well with that sort of more clear, crisp, sort of slightly fresher, more fast-moving type of a finish. This is a little funkier. It's distinctly funkier, and it's a little more slow-moving.
Bizarrely, adding a little water has made this hotter on the tongue. It's brought out a bit of a bite which wasn't there before. I don't know how or why, but that's happened, and that's contrasted now with the addition of more sweet, smooth caramel flavours.
Sorry, I'm just looking at a bee invading the house. Obviously didn't see the sign saying no bees indoors. It's alright, it probably won't come in here. Yeah, that's quickened things up. It's kind of destroyed the really oily, really kind of almost like a fruit icing kind of thickness that the whiskey had.
It's eliminated some of those distinct fondant flavours, all the different fruits and berries which were layering up before. It smoothed those out into just a generic kind of a sweetness, but at the same time it's made a little warmer and a little more.
Yeah, the fruits are fresher and fruitier here, but less confected, I suppose. So it depends what you're after, really. Where you want a sort of like a confectionery stewed fruit, or more of a Speyside fresh ripe fruit, I guess. But good either way. I think.
It is very engaging, very sippable.
Yeah, I think much more reminiscent of that Sauternes finish, Aaron, with the water.
Yeah.
Much more quickened thing. Yeah, that was... Did they still do that Sauternes from Aaron?
I don't know if I've done one for a while.
It would be a nostalgic flavour to try again. Yeah, I'll have to keep an eye out. No, that was a cracking whiskey.
Yeah.
I'm sure I had several drams of that, and then did interpretive dance to the Skyrim theme song. Bet you wish you got a video of that one, but lost to time, alas. This one, on the other hand, very, very different, but very much whiskey you can have two ways. As to which I prefer, I'm not even sure. Probably with the water, because I do prefer a slightly more vibrant, fruity kind of a whiskey. It's just slightly too, I don't know, it's a little slow, a little too confectionery without, I think, I'm just not in for those super, super sweet whiskies, but I really like it, and the fact that it's versatile, that doesn't count against it, it counts towards it. So I think it's tremendously strong for a no-age statement whiskey. I think that's a pretty easy 86 for me. What do you think?
Well, I actually prefer this without the additional water, because that way it's even sweeter, and the different sweet flavours and the sort of custardy fruitiness, all those are so clear-cut and distinct, they stand out more. Which is good though, because again it means it further shows how versatile this is, with water, without. It will do different things to different people. It does those very well, and it does such a sweet liqueur-y delight that it rates an 88 for me.
There you go. So I'd say a bit of doing finishes of any kind is a new direction for Loch Lomond or Inchmurrin, depending on which part of the world you're in. But I think not a bad first outing.
Yeah, and especially for a no-age statement. Offering that does a lot with
we'll keep an eye on those. Keep an eye on those in the future. The port cask finish cannot be far away. It's got to be coming up sooner or later. It's probably already maturing in there already. So anyway, we will be right back with the 18, and we will see what that's got for us. So Slanger, we'll be right back.